I was talking to somebody last night about this whole idea of the euphoric stage and the rosy and
which you are in, by the way.
Like, let's not get into it.
Okay, let's not get into that.
But the analogy I use for that is a fire.
Mm-hmm.
For you to start a fire, the energy you need to start the spark is more than the energy you need to keep a fire going.
Yeah.
And that's how relationships start.
Yeah.
They start with a bang, and the point of that is just so that you have enough energy to boost the whole thing, to get it going. The problem that people have is that they expect to have that spark the whole journey. There is no way your fire will have sparks the whole time.
So communication seems to be something that's too obvious but not common sense at the same time. What prompted you to focus on your first publication on communication?
Okay, so I think at the base of every relationship, and this is sort of encompassing every type. So regardless of the sort of relationship, be it a work relationship or like a romantic relationship or even like family dynamics, at the base of all of it is communication, because communication is what allows us to connect with people, to understand people, and to share with people like our thoughts, our ideas, and our opinions and everything. And I feel like if that part is not done right, it's very easy to just ruin everything, because very simple things can just become huge.
Yeah, they do.
Yeah, because like, and I feel like people have to understand the differences that we are sort of raised with, or that we grow up with, or that we pick up along the way, because even if you lived in the same exact house, you would develop different ways of communicating and of understanding things and of sharing things and of expressing things. There are moments when silent people, who just internalize everything, and deal with everything on their own, meet other people who are loud and they think, okay, that doesn't work for me. If they're giving me opinions that I didn't ask for, or they're speaking a lot more than or a little more than I think they should, that's like, so there's those different dynamics in how we sort of
communicate.
Yes, interact. So
but then again, there will be a question that we ask you. You're a fairly young man. What made you feel competent enough to address this very critical subject matter?
That's a very interesting one. As a comic relief, because I'm a fairly young man, that's why the book is fairly small.
Yeah.
No, I mean,
youngster, please.
so look, like I know for sure that as I grow older and wiser, I will learn a lot more things.
Yeah.
But I also know that I have interacted with different people, and it's these different people that actually become references of my abilities to do certain things. So it's like if you are, let's say, 20, for example, and you hang around with people who are, 10 years older than you, right? And you blend in just right, like you blend in just well, and you connect with these people, you relate with these people. Yes, then you'd realize, okay, so I'm not necessarily 20 in terms of my my vibe and my energy and my knowledge and my wisdom, So I was one of those, where I'd be in places where they're my peers, and then I'm interacting with them and I'm thinking, yeah, that's not necessarily, that's too young. That's like, I always had an issue with those things.
But there's also something that you address in your book where you say most of the times parents tend to project, I don't know how you used it, where they mean well, but what comes out of their mouth is very harming. You find that you just be a failure if you don't do what they want you to do something, but they say something that is very detrimental. So where was that coming from for you?
I've had a very interesting time learning how to communicate with my mom. Mom's one of the nicest people ever. And I'm not saying this because she's my parent.
Everybody does. Everyone.
I probably would say it if she wasn't. But through interacting with her and then other people, I've learned that what determines how good or what influences how good one's communication skills are is not necessarily what you mean to say or what you have to say or what you have to share, but how well you understand the medium you're using to communicate.
Okay.
So if you are not very
Articulate.
yes, if you don't understand a particular language very well, you'll find it difficult to communicate. An example is, if for example in Nyanja, right?
Yeah.
To walk and to run are differently worded.
Yes.
So walk is kuenda, and then run is kutamaga, right?
Yeah.
But you're just learning the language, and you just know the word for walk, okay? And you're trying to tell somebody that he was running. No, I saw a guy running, So you'd be there like, but like, so
You're trying to
exactly,
get to-
yeah.
yes.
So the point there is, your language skills are an influencer when it comes to your communication
Ability.
skills. So if you don't understand language very well, it's very difficult to explain yourself and express yourself well enough for somebody else to understand. But there's another thing there. If the person you're talking to does not understand language very well, then they also might not understand you clearly enough.
Yeah.
Because either the words you're using are a bit more technical for them, so they don't get them, or they don't really listen to everything because they don't understand the value of these different words you're putting together to deliver your message.
So let's bring down your book to what the majority of the audience is interested in a relationship, a man and a lady,
right?
Getting to know each other, and then obviously they're in that euphoria stage where everything seems to be perfect. No, I understand you, I get you. Yes, that's what you mean. And then once that dwindles down, and now they come to reality to get to know each other, and then they find that they are very polarizing individuals. They are very different.
Yes.
So how do they work around that dynamic in terms of communication?
I was talking to somebody last night about this whole idea of the euphoric stage and the rosy and the,
which you are in, by the way.
beautiful. Let's not get into it.
Okay, let's not get into that.
But the analogy I use for that is a fire. For you to start a fire, the energy you need to start the spark is more than the energy you need to keep a fire going.
Yeah.
And that's how relationships start.
Yeah.
They start with a bang, and the point of that is just so that you have enough energy to boost the whole thing,
Yes.
to get it going.
To ride
The
it through.
problem that people have is that they expect to have that spark the whole journey. There is no way your fire will have sparks the whole time.
True.
You start the spark once and the fire is going and forget about the spark. But with relationships, sometimes you get like those moments, like you get a rekindled sort of like hyper romantic moment and everything, but that's not the center of the relationship. That's when it's happening, enjoy it. Like I'm enjoying it.
I thought you didn't want to talk about it, but hey, you seem to be excited. I'm
You started it.
No, live in the moment.
It's your fault.
Live in your moment.
But anyways, you have to enjoy it while it's there, but
Yeah.
understand why it's there and understand its purpose.
Yeah.
It's not there to be there the whole time. It's there just get you started. It's like blast off.
Yeah.
The energy you need to just get off is a lot more than the energy you need to keep
Sustain
moving. Yes. But then also, the energy you need to keep moving will be a lot more harder to get because you need a lot more conscious thought. The spark happens on its own. It's like novelty. The brain, it's like a new thing. Oh my God, everything's perfect. And then afterwards,
from
you
reality.
start seeing the flaws. Start seeing okay.
Can I live with that?
She's not so perfect, right? And when that happens, you have to find out what really makes this person worth your time and worth being a part of your life, and what sort of your joint body or entity brings out in terms of gains. Like, how does this make me better? How does this make her better?
Yeah.
How does this make the people around us better?
Yeah.
So then you
So
have
at the core of this book, who's your target audience?
I think from the thickness of the book, you can tell it's meant
Fairly
for people
young.
who don't like
It's
to
very-
people who don't like to read. It's not even like an issue of age, really. It's just I have seen a lot of thick books, but what I want to deliver is something that's very practical,
easy to read.
and very easy to digest. So that's why it has to be very thin, so it doesn't intimidate the people and make them think, okay, it will take me forever to finish this thing. I need to learn to do this now. Like, you need to learn to communicate now. You get this book and you read it in a week and you're done.
How can a person get their hands on the book?
They can contact me on Facebook.
So your contacts are on the screen?
Yes. So my Facebook handles will be sufficient for that purpose.
What of those that are living outside Africa or out of Zambia? Right now,
There's an ebook actually. So there's an ebook on a Zambian platform called Utoshimi, and there's another one on Amazon Kindle. So I could easily, send links to the people when they, contact me. Yes, and then they can easily get it.
All right, Xander.
So yeah,
I've started digging in your book. There are a couple of thoughts that I'm like, wow, this young man has got some thoughts to share. Interesting.
Share the thoughts that you have about my thoughts.
Please, keep down. All right.